So last night, episode 4 of Star Wars Ahsoka premiered, that being part 4, Fallen Jedi. So if you haven't seen my spoiler-free review of it, it's a YouTube short. It'll be linked in the comment section down below and also up in the cards, so go check it out if you haven't seen it already, because this review will have spoilers. So let us just jump right in and just quick recap of my spoiler-free review. I thought it was a very good episode and nice twists and turns. So probably a good way to begin the episode is, let's just talk about Hera's role in it. It's pretty minor, but basically herself and, I think in Delphi Squadron, I think. So the New Republic fighter pilot that Mando in the Star Wars Mandalorian has made friends with, him, Hera, and then a few other pilots. No Zeb yet, interestingly enough. I'm surprised that hasn't come up yet. But anyhow, they basically go to help Ahsoka and Sabine, and also Hu Yang as well, because he's there. By the way, every time I hear Hu Yang's voice, especially in this episode, I can't help but think Scrooge McDuck, both are voiced by David Tennant, who also played Doctor Who, but I know him better from the reboot DuckTales show. But yeah, that's getting off track. So they basically are risking their careers to go help. And literally, I think Hera has a line like, once a rebel, always a rebel kind of deal. But yeah, it does make sense, and like they know more what's going on than the New Republic does, because the New Republic is not really paying attention to their reports, because there's too many senators probably interested in maintaining the status quo, not realizing by maintaining the status quo, they're going to be hurting the status quo. But that's how it always is, our heroes generally know more what's going on than anybody else, and that's how our stories are generally structured. The one thing is, this could also explain why the New Republic was so adept, because all the good ones get frustrated and probably, get disciplined and either get demoted or leave, because I have a feeling there could be some consequences for this. But we just gotta wait and see on that. But they do arrive at the system right before, spoilers, right before the hyperdrive ring ship makes its jump. And they lose 2 of the X-Wings through that as well because of the energy, because the ship went right over them. Kind of showing furthermore why when a ship's going into hyperspace, you really don't want to be by it. But yeah, unless you have like an insanely good ship, obviously. But yeah, so they did show that pretty effectively. And then, yeah. So I'm not going to take more about that story, but they do get in contact with Hu Yang as well, so they get an update what's going on. But going back onto the planet, they're trying to repair the ship, but of course, Morgan Elsbin has Balin send Shin, Marok, and a bunch of people to stop them from stopping them. Does that make sense? Because it does to me. But so they do fight off their attackers, Ahsoka and Sabine. Pretty easy when it's, just the grunts. But when Shin and Marok get there, that's when it gets a bit more interesting. Obviously, Shin and Ahsoka duo once again, and Sabine and Marok duo. And Sabine defeats Marok. And, I was right, Marok is pretty much just Marok. He's there entirely to be camouflaged, an easy defeat for our heroes. What I was not expecting, but some people did, the fact that when he was defeated, he just burst into smoke. Makes me think he might have been Morgan Elsbin might have been using Night Sister magic to reanimate the corpse or something of a dead Inquisitor. That's the only thing that could make sense, or maybe something about his species too. I'm honestly not sure, but it was very unique. But some people were pointing that out as a possibility. But again, Marok is just Marok, like I predicted. My theory video where I discuss why I think that's the main reason, it came out 2 days ago, if I remember correctly. 2 or 3 days ago. It'll be linked down in the cards and in the description as well if you want to go check it out. Because guess what? It still holds water and it's no longer a theory. Maybe I should change it to my Star Wars Explain playlist instead of my Star Wars Theory sub playlist, because I got it correct. But going back to the episode, so Shin and Sabine keep on dueling, and Sabine both uses Mandalorian techniques and also Jedi techniques in fighting Shin, though Shin does eventually flee the battle, which is actually kind of interesting. Like, sure, Sabine was able to use a Mandalorian technique to basically reverse the trend of the battle near the end, but why did Shin flee? It's interesting to note. But anyhow, so at the place where the map was being read, Ahsoka and Baylan duel. And of course, Baylan, he's definitely, you can tell, he's actually trying to protect the map. Of course, here's me thinking, Ahsoka, you don't have to go after the map, just go after the transmitter. But then again, that would have ended the story a lot sooner, because, yeah, Baylan wasn't protecting the transmitter. Just go after the transmitter. Oh, yeah, and also, too, Sabine, you know, if you didn't want to destroy the map, destroy the transmitter. It's so simple, so obvious, yet they don't do it. That's actually probably my only complaint, because that's the obvious thing. Destroy the transmitter. Without the transmitter, the ship doesn't get the hyperspace coordinates. But they didn't go that way, which, you know what, is understandable, because I couldn't advance the story. But that's where you can definitely tell plot is driving the plot more than character actions. It still is driving it because they didn't make the choice, but kind of the story that's being wanted to be told kind of seeps in a bit there a little more. You know, maybe have it like protected by a force field or something, I don't know, just, I feel like they could have just gone after the transmitter so easily, but they chose not to. Again, understandable why they didn't. The map is what they're going after, because without the map, they can always replace the transmitter, but they can't replace the map. Hence why Sabine was threatening to destroy it, and Ahsoka ordered Sabine to destroy it. Of course, that doesn't quite work out, because one, Baylan pushes Ahsoka off the cliff, and he basically manipulates Sabine into giving him the map, basically by saying, you want to find Ezra, don't you? And it works, which does make sense. Sabine is not, I don't want to say she's emotionally compromised, but she's not emotionally stable, if you will. Because Baylan alludes to what happened to the Mandalorians, and sounds like Sabine's family did not come out of the Purge of Mandalore that great. Which is something we were wondering, because their home world was not Mandalore, but they could have been on it at the time, I don't know. And maybe for all we know, Sabine doesn't know what happened to them too. But there is a possibility that Sabine also feels responsible for this, so just further manipulation by Baylan to get, you know, saying like, the only friend you have left is Ezra and you want to find him. Kind of almost forgetting about, you know, Hera and Zeb, I'm just saying. But then again, when you're being manipulated by a fallen Jedi, I'm pretty sure that I'm going to get to the title, but there's more than one fallen Jedi in this episode, I'll just say that. Being manipulated, you can kind of understand why Sabine makes the choice. And it's not like Jin does try to choke Sabine, and Baylan stops her, because he promised her no harm, for now. I'm adding the for now, because, come on. But, like I said, makes sense, and they do handcuff Sabine, because obviously they don't truly trust her. You know, it was a manipulation, not anything sincere that got Sabine to give up the map to them. And then, so, they basically all go to that other galaxy where they think Thrawn is. Again, I do wonder why they think this map. And I think that's because when I made this initial complaint, that was, I think, in the first 2 episodes, didn't quite understand the map, but, because, especially with the night of the last episode and a few other things I've pieced together, is very much, I think, because, well, they know the Purger took Thrawn somewhere, and this map, I'm guessing, is basically shows the Purger's migratory pattern, so that's why they think this way will work. But you know what? That actually makes good sense. So, it's not a map to Thrawn, it's a map of the Purger's migratory routes, which they think will lead them to Thrawn. Or will it? I do still wonder, is there more going on than even the villains realize? But we now gotta talk about the end of the episode, which is the most interesting thing. First of all, the transition was just trippy from the cliffs and the ocean to, was it the war between worlds? Definitely looked like it. Ahsoka wakes up there. Granted, I wonder if she was thinking in her head, not this place again. And then Anakin speaks. But Anakin looks off. I don't know if it's either, because let's be real, they definitely DH Hayden Christensen there. They did a better job in Obi-Wan Kenobi. Even though he looked older than he should as a Padawan that scene, he just looked better. but I wonder if that it's supposed to look off. Like, some people I know as a Mandalorian had some complaints about Luke, but looking like Luke was not an issue though. They got the actor who played Luke in that scene. First of all, they didn't even need to use they didn't even need to use CGI stuff on the face to make it look like Luke. The actor who was actually doing the performance, that Mark Hamill was involved. But the actor, I forget his name, he actually looks like a young Mark Hamill. They didn't need to do CGI. But here, I wonder if they're using it on purpose, because Anakin looked like to be in the Uncanny Valley. And then the music, okay, sounds like normal. And then fades to black, as we transition to the credits. And the music, it's not the heroic music we associate for Anakin. No, not at all. It's the music we associate with Darth Vader. So wherever this place Ahsoka is in, it's going to be a test for her. That's what I'm thinking. Because one, the music, and two, Anakin looks off, and I wonder if that could be a signal to us that this is a test, us the audience. I could be wrong, but something feels off about it, and not just how Anakin looks. I think it has something to do with Vader and the dark side. But that's just my thought there. But getting back to the title, Fallen Jedi, who is that referring to? Baylan? Probably not Shin, because there's no indication that she was ever a member of the Order. Ahsoka, Anakin, all three, all four, Sabine? Is it all of them? Are they all being referred to as Fallen Jedi? Hard to say, but in the kind of prep phase for Ahsoka and Baylan's duel, Baylan mentions Anakin, Darth Vader, what he became. That not every member of the Order got to live to see that. So definitely, Anakin, I think, is, no, without a doubt, a Fallen Jedi. But so is Baylan. Fallen in a different way, but still fallen. And let's not forget Ahsoka as well. No, she didn't fall to the dark side like any others, but she's definitely, struggling with her identity. Definitely her place in the galaxy, her place in the Force. So that is something to wonder. So I think there's a very strong chance that Fallen Jedi refers to all three Fallen Jedi that appear in this episode. The actual Fallen Jedi who were members of the Order before the Jedi Purge. I do think it refers to more than one character. But also, this makes me think something. Because we know when Ahsoka appears in the book of Boba Fett, yeah, of course it's there. Not in The Mandalorian, which make a little more sense because of the story being told there. But anyhow, the dialogue between her and Luke definitely sounds like, well, she's not ready to help Luke rebuild the Jedi Order. Definitely makes it sound like she's more at place with herself than she is here. I don't think she'll be fully, Ahsoka's wife like we saw in the epilogue of Star Wars Rebels at the end of season 1. But she's definitely going to be probably in a better place than she is right now, in one form or other. So I'm thinking this might take place before the Book of Boba Fett, just to make things trippy. Which also means Sabine does not know that there were survivors on Mandalore. So maybe there's hope for her family if her family actually didn't survive the Great Purge of Mandalore. It's interesting how this stuff is all wrapping together and offering some unique things, and how those different elements are impacting our characters. It really is quite a good story that is told with good, like I said earlier, twists and turns. But of course, there's only 2 more episodes left, 5 and 6 if I remember correctly. Man, these short seasons go by very fast. But I do think we get some exciting development. I still don't think they will find Ezra, and I'm not sure they'll find Thrawn either. But then again, it all remains to be seen what's actually going to happen. But I think whatever's going to happen, Sabine's going to go on a spiritual journey through the Force, and somehow she's going to arrive well, all the other characters arriving. Well, I have think Hera and the X-Wing pilots are going to hitch a ride with the Pearl Girl. That's how I think all our characters are going to get into this. You got the hyperdrive ring for the villains and Sabine. You have the Warp Between Worlds for Ahsoka and her spiritual journey through the Force. And then you have the Pearl Girl for Hera. Because, Jason is right there. He says he has a bad feeling, but also, he's probably Force sensitive. So will he be the one that connects with the Pearl Girl and allows them to go there via the Pearl Girl? I think that would be fun. I hope that's what happens. Probably won't happen. No, my luck. No, it won't happen. But you know what? We just gotta wait and see. But let me know your thoughts on this episode in the comment section down below. I would love to hear from you. And of course, that's all I have for you today. So thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you always. Thank you for watching this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please be sure to give this video a like, as well as subscribe to my channel and ring that bell to stay up to date on my latest content. Also, be sure to check out the link tree in the description, as well as any other links I have down there.